creators are helping brands today in a lot of different ways. And I think this is a conversation that comes up a lot in my work. And oftentimes, I will say, I think creator marketers sometimes have a pretty similar answer. And if I'm being truthful, I think somehow when it comes time to execute what we all know, sometimes brands and marketers lose sight of what we agreed on, which is that brands do need to approach creators as cultural partners and not just as marketing tools. And that's really how I approach all my work at MediaHub. I think the best collaborations happen when brands truly respect the creator's voice and perspective. Not just if they like their content style or their creative abilities, instead of really dictating what the content should look like, brands should really co-create by sharing their objective, key focus on making sure the objective is clear and we aren't giving them five different objectives in one singular asset. And then allowing the creator to translate that into content that works for their community. I think that is the biggest way that creators can help brands and align with culture so that way they really stay competitive. Um, and I think one thing that really helps us to make sure we remember that happens is to remember that today's consumers are not ignorant to the fact that branded content on an influencer's channel is oftentimes paid for, right? They know this. And so if we really want to see the results that we're hoping for from our creator, we need to allow the creator the space to create content, almost as if it was one of those videos you see where they say like, this actually isn't sponsored, but I love this product, right? So if we can get creators to almost recreate that level of authenticity and position their branded content as I actually care about what I'm taking the time to sit here on my platform and talk about. I think if we can do that, it will go a long way for brands. And that is like the best way that they can utilize a creator. You have to remember that creators can help you, but it's not just about being relevant today. It's about building relationships that also help you be relevant tomorrow at the same time.
Yeah, so consumers are really quite savvy, especially those on social media. They can sniff out something that isn't authentic.
Yes, they are smart, right? I think every single time you go to any of your favorite social platforms, right, you're going to be flooded with creator content. And that is a great thing. But it's become a social norm, right? No longer is it this like new exciting thing. It is an integrated part of our marketing ecosystem, but we need to give consumers the credit that they're aware of what we're doing, but they also understand that we're working with people that we want to work with that align to our brand and to our brand goals. But we have to make sure that we let creators figure out the way to communicate that to them. That it's their audience at the end of the day that we're trying
Are
to
there
communicate to.
are there any special tips or tricks in terms of leveraging YouTube, especially for brands who are trying to really maximize visibility?
Yeah, YouTube is a great place in terms of maximizing visibility. And I think YouTube has a unique opportunity in that it's great for culture. YouTube is not just a platform. It's, I think it's important to think of YouTube as a stage for creators to set the tone of these cultural moments that so often emerge from YouTube, right? I think that's what stands out about YouTube. There's really a culture and there's a community behind it. But a lot of this like culture and these trends come from YouTube. And everyone can think of a time when they were looking for information and they went to YouTube to figure out how to do something. But I think what they found once they got there was not only the answer that they were searching for, the help that they were trying to receive, but they found the realization that there's a lot of community and culture behind the thing that they were searching for. And that's often because of creators and their passion for these various topics and categories. So I think if brands remember that it's a stage for creators to set the tone, the best way that they can maximize their impact and visibility in that relationship is to understand that their role is to support or enhance those cultural moments that YouTube is offering, but not hijack them, right? Don't stress about putting yourself center stage and uh, being the leading actor, right? Supporting actor is still a great accomplishment. That might have been a horrible analogy, but hopefully the point comes through, right? Creators are building this culture and this community on YouTube. And oftentimes, I think it's okay that brands remember they don't always have to start or ignite that culture. Just be present, support the creators for who are already there. Start by identifying creators who align with your brand and then invest in long-term relationships with them. Worry less about is this person right for us or is this person right for us? Just invest in a relationship, commit to that relationship, and then leverage the power of storytelling that YouTube can offer, right? YouTube has a lot of potential when it comes to long form storytelling and giving you a really big stage to tell the story that you want to tell. So think beyond that 30-second pre-roll. Absolutely. Consider formats like behind the scenes or branded mini series, just make sure you're really adding to the viewer's experience. Um, yeah, and lastly, just don't underestimate the importance of community on YouTube either. I think engage in the comment section, participate in the conversations, and just find ways to make the YouTube content you want to partner with to feel interactive.
And the creator economy is really just almost at the beginning, the nascent phase of its life. Where do you see it evolving over the next few years? What's the potential?
I love this question. I think there is a lot of opportunity for I think a few different directions that the creator economy will evolve over the next few years. I think one of those is I think we're going to see even more creators stepping into being full-fledged entrepreneurs, right? Launching product lines, hosting events, etc. They are no longer just content creators. They are becoming multifaceted business owners, community leaders, cultural representatives. I think that is really going to greatly shift the traditional model of like pay for a post. I think it will evolve into a deeper, more collaborative partnership where brands and creators are almost seen as equals in a sense and really working together. I think that's one area. I think the second area where I really see the creator economy growing is the shift of creators in a very saturated market, carving out time for their hyper niche communities. These communities may seem small on the surface, but their, I guess, their depth will have even more power moving forward. And so I think for brands, I think success for them will come by leaning into those communities outside of their target audience and just supporting creators who are building this trust with those more niche audiences. I think that's sort of a second area that creators are going to focus a lot of attention on is building their own communities. And the best way to do that is think about these niche communities that they can relate to. And lastly, I think we're going to see a lot more creator content beyond social in other spaces like retail activations and a bunch of different traditional media formats. Brands are starting to embrace this, but I think if they embrace these expansions and help creators bring those visions to life outside of social, whether that's, a product collaboration or an in-person event, I think that will have a real opportunity to bring cultural relevance within the creator economy to a new level, but also help brands with their own affinity as well. I think they just need to invest in that invest in that experimentation to figure out like where is this creator ecosystem going to go beyond what it has been today, which has been primarily engaging creators, creating social content, finding ways a few months after maybe to amplify that elsewhere. But like starting with that implementation from the start of where can we put this out at the get-go, that's not just on social.